What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk to you guys about Warhammer 40k. Now recently, if you guys have been paying attention, I've been trying to bring you some scary themed 40k videos because I've been doing a little series called the 13 Days of Halloween, where I bring you some Halloween themed 40k videos leading up to Halloween itself. Now, so far, we've gotten videos on the vampires of 40k, the werewolves of 40k, zombies in 40k, and the biggest fear that every wargamer has. And today we continue on with 40 facts on Fabius Bile. Now, Fabius Bile is a member of the Chaos Space Marines for the Emperor's Children. This guy is essentially a mad scientist in the 40k lore. He is basically, when you look at it, Frankenstein. Now, when you think of Frankenstein, you're probably thinking of that monster with the bolts in his head, the arms stretched out forward, grunting and whatnot. But no, that is not Frankenstein. That is Frankenstein's monster. So, this is Frankenstein, the actual scientist that created it. I don't know why those two got mixed up throughout history, because obviously when you think Frankenstein, you think the big dude, but no, it's the scientist. It's the mad scientist. So, Frankenstein is equivalent to Fabius Bile, and vice versa. So yeah, Fabius Bile is a mad scientist. However, he was not always that way. Before the whole Horus heresy, he was a lieutenant commander and the chief apothecary for the Emperor's Children. However, now he's more about genetic manipulation and creating monstrosities, or what he likes to call enhanced warriors. So he has a lot to do with tinkering and creating abominations, like I said. So let's look at the most pertinent lore and rules that came out during the War of the Spider, during the Psychic Awakening for him, and I think it was also the Custodies were a part of that too. So let's take a look. So whenever you're playing Fabius Bile, you can essentially give a unit experimental enhancements. Basically, all his tinkering and whatnot isn't just for show. These abominations that it creates are a little bit tougher and a little bit faster. So what this trait does, it gives that specific unit 1 to the movement and strength characteristics. Moving on down, you have the Helm of the All-Seeing, which is a Baroque helm that sports an array of additional sensors, allowing the wearer to take in a tremendous amount of battlefield information in a very short space of time, providing, of course, that they have the requisite additional sensory organs to process it, because if not, then they will not be having a very good day. So whoever has this Helm of the All-Seeing, they get to roll a d6 for each command point that you spend, and then a 5+, you get that command point back. Pretty good. You pretty much want to give this to somebody who's going to be more of not up in the, close battles and whatnot, close combat. You want to make sure that you're giving it to somebody pretty far back that's just using his aura to buff other units. So that way whenever you use stratagems, you can get them back on a 5-up. And speaking of stratagems, you have the macro Tensile Sinews that you can use for 1 command point. What these Sinews do are essentially a buff to the musculature of whoever is injecting it into their bodies. In game, it's a stratagem that you use at the beginning of the movement phase, where you select 1 creation of Bile infantry unit, and from then on until the end of the turn, they get to charge even if they advanced already. And if they do advance or charge, whenever you roll a d6 for that roll, you add 1 to the result. A lot of Fabius Bile's is quote-unquote enhancements. They have to deal with the musculature and the strength and speed of that unit, that creature. However, what are these mutations gonna do for you when they're up close and personal to the enemy? Well, that's where Monstrous Visages come into effect. So this is a 1 command point ability that you could use at the start of any phase. So basically what this means is that these mutants, so to speak, have been cursed with not just speed and resiliency, but sometimes they have multiple eyes. Sometimes they have distended fang-stuffed jaws, or a myriad of other imperfections that are just so hideous to behold. So basically, whenever a unit is going to be attacking that unit of mutants, any model that's within 6 inches must subtract 1 from the hit roll, because these monsters, they're just too ugly. So all this and more can be found in the link down in the description. It was an article by the Warhammer community people, so go ahead and check that out, or I'm pretty sure you can probably just get the new book, which should be out. I mean, COVID kind of slowed things down and made releases wonky, but I'm pretty sure you could find this book anywhere now. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Fabius Bile, or Fabulous Bill according to my autocorrect, is basically just a unit that enhances already strong units. Basically making a unit of Chaos Space Marines a little bit faster and a little bit stronger. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's good enough to warden a spot on my Chaos Space Marine army. I mean, even you've read the stratagems, they're just there to get you into combat closer. But at the end of the day, like, they're not that much greater, in my opinion. Like, when I first saw the book, or when I first read, like, the leaks and, like, the little tidbits of lore for him, it's like, oh, you know, this guy has been experimenting on Primaris Marines. This guy has been experimenting on Custodes. Are we gonna get a unit of Chaos Custodes? Maybe have, like, some awesome, powerful mutants that you could play with? No, it was a complete letdown. It's like, pick one model, or pick one unit, plus 1 strength, plus 1 movement. It's like, okay. I don't know, I felt like you could have done so much with Fabius Bile and his mutations and whatnot. Hell, I would have even taken one Adeptus Custodi that has been mutated into like some grotesque looking being. But no, maybe they're saving that for later. So at the end of the day, War the Spider, just squish that bug. And I feel the same way with like Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Out of all the classic horror monsters, they're probably the ones I'm least interested in. Yeah. So let me know your opinions, if you guys have tips, tricks for utilizing Fabius Bile and his insidious mutations. Let me know what are some interesting things to use. And let me know what you guys think about Frankenstein. Is he low tier when it comes to Halloween monsters? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, because I will be posting a lot more Halloween horror themed videos until we get to Halloween itself. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one. Peace.